of Sigmund Freud's study, and he's wooden actually. His character is, and his hands, all the different hand gestures are all carved out separate pieces of wood and they're in places. It was fascinating to see that.
So Sigmund Freud appeared in that film to basically analyse one of Graham's bizarre sort of homoerotic dreams, and Sigmund Freud doesn't think it's homoerotic at all. And states that it's just all it's about navigation. But anyway,
If you have a look at the guys who built this set, did this scene, they love the idea of doing a black and white scene, but instead of actually just shooting it black and white, they built the whole set in black and white, and then shot it in colour. And as you can see, the Freud character is actually in colour.
yeah.
So it's just a nice little quirkiness to it that we're trying to push along.
And
Sorry, got one.
So this is Graham and John Cleese on a writing, I was going to say holiday, but it was supposed to be a working holiday in Ibiza when they started writing together, but they found different ways of avoiding actually doing any work. So we've got them going out on a tandem ride, and this is quite a long scene of dialogue between Cleese and Graham Chapman. And I must say, Cleese recorded it in March this year. Chapman recorded it in about 1985. And when you see it, it sounds like it was recorded, they were together yesterday. It sounds really fresh, it really works.
And this idea of going on holiday to go writing is something that John took on with him as well. And when they did all the other movies, they always went off somewhere hot, and the rest of them didn't do anything, just actually had a good time. So when they did Life of Brian, that as well. No?
This is
English, I don't know if you're aware that Englishmen, when they go out in the sun, the first thing that happens is they turn that colour. But Graham, when he was out in Ibiza, he found love, which is a nice scene in the movie. This is a scene with Eric Idle on the left, Graham in the middle, and Graham's partner David Sherlock. A scene which is the coming out party. So this is Eric quite shocked to find Graham has a boyfriend.
So yes, so I mean, explain sexuality. I'm not sure if anybody knows.
I don't know if anybody knows exactly what his sexuality was. He described in the book that he was 70% gay, 30% straight, and we certainly see both sides of that, those choices in the movie. But yeah.
There we go.
And that, I say,
Oh dear.
it's a little bit raunchy, that one. I say.
Or anything else to say about that?
So there's
Yes, so this is the period in his life. What do you got there?
He's drunk in Los Angeles, and well, he wakes up in a hotel and he doesn't know where he is, and he realises it. We've all done it, obviously, and discovers that he's in Los Angeles. So he goes down to the lobby and starts picking up girls, because apparently, when you're famous, girls throw themselves at you. Is that right, Lloyd? Pay attention.
I'm a gay married man, so gay married man, I don't know anything about that.
I can also reveal that the body image for this character that we call Young Girl was provided by none other than Dame Judi Dench. Proving that there's life in the old girl yet. This is a very serious moment in the film. Graham was, well, the central tension of Graham's life, which is something that I wanted to explore, was that he was openly gay, but secretly alcoholic. And those two things were quite difficult for him to deal with. And on the alcoholism side, again, anybody who's read the book will know there's a very powerful scene, which is his drying out from alcohol. So, where he literally locked himself in a room over Christmas 1977, I think, and stopped taking alcohol and just dried out, and it was a very difficult time in his life.
Also, it's interesting because he was also a doctor. He was also, and he kind of these things are described by him in a very medical way, doing medical tests on himself. So this is kind of his prescription on how to get on alcohol to do that. And then this style was a guy called George, who's amazing. He does this on, effectively oil and glass, basically, and doing this in 3D was some task. Because it's animation. It's similar to stop frame, where, you know, or that, I don't know if you've seen. There's a girl who does, and she sort of does glass. She works with sand, and then so he basically smudges this oil on glass and then takes the image and then work on the next image, doing the same thing. Incredibly time-consuming. Anyway.
And it's never been done in 3D before, because you can imagine the glass is flat.
Yeah.
So it was quite the guy has come up with a way of presenting oil on glass animation in 3D for the first time. So the next shot is when Graham starts imagining bugs climbing all over him when he's in bed, and it's all quite heavy going. So we're now in Los Angeles towards the end of Graham's life, and here he is with his shrink. I'm sure people are aware that after that drying out period, he dried out in order to take the role of Brian in Life of Brian, because basically the other Pythons said that if you continue to be a drunk, that you're not going to be very reliable on set. So that was one of the reasons he dried out. So I think it's fair to say he was a different kind of man after he stopped drinking, and he describes this in the book.
He wasn't that different.
But he describes Los Angeles as quite a kind of empty-headed, vacuous kind of place where you have to go to lots of Hollywood parties. So that's our Hollywood parties scene.
That's David Frost in the middle, who appears in our film.
Anybody else spot anybody else there? Madonna?
Yeah.
Grace, that's Joan Collins, and the one on the left is Lloyd's friend, Elvira.
Elvira. So
you get a sense there that all the different, some of the different styles, as Ben says, we've got about 15 or 17 different styles of animation, but we think that hopefully they work for each section or different period of Graham's life.
And also what's been quite difficult is the transition between styles, finding a way to do that. So really.
Can I just say, these people promise profanity, and nobody's actually said fuck yet.
I don't say any fucking bad words. I work for the Children's Television Network. Well, any chance, were there any Americans in this project of yours? It seems very British.
It's a bit...
Some of us, and maybe some nerds too.
We worked with 90% of the animators were British, I'm afraid. Sorry about that. But there were some nice Americans who got involved.
And a big surprise for you, we've flown them all the way here from 34th Street, the super fat boys, Andrew Stubbs Johnston and Sean Doherty.
We don't have cool British accents. We got to work on a cool